What's up? Another beautiful day for another test ride. Quick shout out to Macomb Power Sports for sponsoring this video, making this video happen. They've allowed me to come here and test ride a bunch of motorcycles to give my honest review on. Very friendly, knowledgeable staff. If you're in the market for a power toy, come check these guys out. On the list today is the Kawasaki Ninja ZX-6R or 636. So let's hop on this guy for the first time and get a bike feel. I like that you have an adjustment for your clutch, adjustment for the brake and the clutch on the stock levers. Start this thing up. First thing you'll notice getting on one of these is that your feet are going to be very far behind you. Track bike style. We're in it for speed, not comfort. Slow rolling. Bike is a little jerky. It wants to go fast. Not the easiest to balance at slow speeds, but not bad. Position isn't super uncomfortable. It's not super tall compared to some bikes in this class. Shorter rider, still probably going to be a little bit of a challenge. Get a quick acceleration in front of this vehicle here. And man, this thing packs a punch and feels great. Why is it telling me to shift? Is that what that's doing? Is that telling me to shift? Initial thoughts, throttle response is amazing on this thing, and the shifting is butter. I really like this display. It's got all the information you would need, nothing more, and it just looks clean. It's got a non-traditional Ninja handlebar configuration. Like, it does not look like your typical Ninja, at least like your Ninja 400s and your 500s and 650s. It looks and feels slightly different. We have to get over here. My mirrors are not adjusted at all. Brakes, we're gonna have to warm these brakes up because these brakes do not want to stop me at all right now. But man, does this feel good. Except for I went into neutral on accident instead of second. I didn't like that. That's why I like the very clunky shifting. That was an accident. I'll get used to that now. All right, this road feels great. We're gonna get this thing on the freeway, get it up to freeway speeds and see what it feels like. Even though this is a very sporty bike, it's still not, it doesn't feel very uncomfortable. It's obviously not gonna be like as comfortable as your 650, but it's gonna give you a lot more punch than the 650. This has an inline 4, which is gonna give you that punchier feeling. So stop and go, it's kind of a lot to balance at real slow speeds. Not horrible, but stop and go is not going to be very fun on this. Thankfully, you have a really light clutch. But man, I mean, first gear and second gear just want to pull you out of your seat. Yeah, not the most fun for stop and go, especially if you're a shorter rider. It's not a tall bike, but it's not short. I'm 5'10", just for reference. I can't take this on a track. Unfortunately, this review is not a track review, although this would be a fun bike for somebody getting into track riding. It's got enough power, plenty of power. I mean, especially for somebody that wants to step up from what they have and maybe do a little bit faster track riding that's not ready to go with something closer to the 1000cc mark. But unfortunately, I don't have the ability to give you a track review. But on road, this is great. If you have a need for some speed, this is gonna check that box for you. It's a little warm. My legs are a little warm. I'm not wearing proper lowers. I just got a gear sponsor, but unfortunately I haven't made that video, so I'm not gonna use them right now until I do the unboxing video for them. I mean, the power transfer feels so smooth. It doesn't feel like there's any delay. It doesn't feel like you just touch the throttle, and it's very hard to explain, but it feels very good. It feels very smooth. I think this is gonna really outshine a lot of the bikes in its class. We've got the brakes warmed up, and the brakes aren't bad. It's a lot of these bikes, I give really poor reviews to the brakes, and I know you should be engine braking. How am I going to review the brakes themselves if I'm using just the engine? These brakes, they're not bad though. So, stiff suspension, as you would expect in a bike like this. Pretty stiff suspension. Alright, finally we're getting on the freeway. Hopefully the freeway's not as backed up. I came this way so that I would get less rush hour traffic going towards the city, because everything's coming from the city right now. Not gonna get a very good slow to fast here, but we are gonna get some open freeway. Man, this thing feels great. Tripod holding on for dear life. My leg's getting a little warm still. Feels great. It's not too windy of a day, so pretty fair to say that this is super stable. I mean, I'm going well into the speed limit, and it feels so comfortable. I mean, I don't feel an ounce of shake. It's a bigger bike, it's a heavier bike, it's got some stability, but I don't feel discomfort at all. You guys that want speed, this has some speed. I tell you what, I don't know how we're looking in terms of the boys in blue. But I can tell you what, this thing wants to pull you. Ton of power. I don't know how bad the wind noise is, so I'm gonna do a little bit of talking once I get off of the freeway. But even right now, riding one-handed, covering the mic, I feel so stable. This isn't a very long ride, but compared to some of the other bikes I was on in this class, on a similar duration of a ride, and this is actually after those, so I'm not as fatigued as I was on some of those other sport bikes. So although this is not a comfortable bike in the definition, it's a less uncomfortable sport bike in my opinion. I'm gonna be in that lane. I can get back over in this lane. I'm on a motorcycle, for sakes. All right, so let's talk about who this bike is for. If you are a beginner, stay the f away from this bike. This has way too much power. It really wants to throw you off the back end. It's not a forgiving bike by any means. Any mistake you make, you feel it. There's not a lot of room for error on a bike this size or higher. Like I say in a lot of these videos, anything over 600 cc's is a luxury unless you're track riding. If you're upgrading from a big bike, this might be the bike to go to. If you're upgrading from a 500, 600 cc bike, this would be a good upgrade. It's going to be more powerful than your 650. So if you're jumping up from say a 400 or 500, don't let that 636 on the back of this fool you. This is no slow bike. But yeah, definitely not for your beginner, definitely for your more advanced rider, somebody that might want to get into some track riding, or somebody that needs speed to put a smile on their face. This is the bike for you. Not for the stop and go traffic, not for your putts around town bike. This is a bike with power that could definitely get you into some trouble. I don't recommend. Want you home safe. I don't like all that junk there with the kickstand, but that's all right. So yeah, that is my test ride review of the Kawasaki ZX-6R 636. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Not a ton of information on that. The bike's fast. It's got a stiff suspension. It's not great on bumps. Not good for beginner. Advanced rider, you're gonna get the thrills that you need out of it. It's a good upgrade from like a 450, 500 cc sport bike. If you've been on it for a while and you're a little bit more experienced, it's gonna be great for that. Sick. I'm not a huge fan of green, but Kawasaki's been doing green forever and it sells. Anyways, thanks for watching again. Shout out to Macomb Power Sports for making it happen. If you're in the market, go check those guys out. Subscribe if you want more moto content. Thanks for watching. See ya.